Hey, what's up guys, it is Card Shuffler 99 here, and today we're going to be showing you guys two really similar, really cool card forces that you guys can go about doing. Now these specific forces can be standalone tricks in themselves. These are something that, sort of act as their own trick, and then you can sort of have this little revelation at the end of it. So I'll show you guys what I mean in a little bit. Now both of these card forces are going to use a similar principle, the double face principle, so we'll get into that in a little bit. Don't forget about the giveaway. We're giving away 5 bicycle decks, 5 Theory 11 decks, and 5 illusionist decks. All you gotta do to enter is like this video, comment something down below, and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Alright guys, let's get straight into the first one. So I'm not going to be performing these to you guys, but I am just going to show you guys how to do it. So, like I said, both of these are going to revolve around the double face principle, or a double-sided principle. Now, like I said in the beginning, both of these could be standalone tricks, meaning the actual sort of force is so drawn out, so long, that you might not necessarily use this in a routine. So what I mean by that is you're forcing a card, and then you would use some sort of revelation at the end, some sort of really crazy way to predict their card, okay? So that's what you're going to want to keep in mind, because this is not something where you're forcing a card and then performing a trick with that force, okay? This is sort of a standalone effect in itself. Now, the first one, what you're going to need, it's very simple, is just a double facer, but you're going to need a double facer with the same card. Now, what you can do here is you can just take 2 of the same card, a duplicate, and double side tape them back to back, okay? So that will be your sort of setup. Now, this is sort of the idea behind both card forces here, is this double-sided principle, okay? Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and you're going to start with this anywhere, okay? You can start with this on the bottom, you can start with it in the middle of the deck. It really doesn't matter where this card is. I'll just put it in the middle, okay, just like that. Now, what you can do is you can start out by showing that all the cards are different, right? You can show that. If you want, they can go ahead and shuffle it, sort of. Don't let them riffle shuffle it, obviously, if you have double-sided tape. But if you don't have double-sided tape, you're completely fine. Now, keep in mind you don't want to reveal that, okay, because you do have these 7 of clubs right there, but you can show the deck face up. Now, what you're going to do from here is you're going to basically allow the spectator, you're going to put this face up, you're going to allow the spectator to turn the cards any which direction they want, okay? So they can start mixing the cards like this, they can start doing whatever they want here, and really what you're doing is you're telling them to just mop the cards around, right? Now, what this is going to do here, and you'll see in a second, so they can go ahead, they can start turning the cards any way they want, right? You'll notice this double backer, or this double face card, is always going to remain face up. Now, that's going to be key, because what you're going to do is you're going to tell them to stop at a random point, so they're going to say stop. And you're going to tell them that we're going to get rid of all the face down cards. So you go ahead, you're going to go ahead with them if you really wanted to. See here, I actually have the duplicate. But with them, you're going to go ahead and remove all of the face down cards, okay? So you're removing all the face down cards, like so. And once they're all gone, you're going to say, okay, keep going. And then they're going to keep going. They're going to keep mixing. They're going to keep mixing. They're going to keep mixing, whatever. And then you're going to say, okay. And eventually you're going to say stop, right? Oh, perfect. All these are face down. You're going to say we get rid of the face down cards, and we're left with 1 card. Now, obviously, that'll be a little more drawn out. You might want to tell them to stop, maybe 3-4 times just to make it seem completely random. And obviously, it is going to stop on this final card right there every single time. Now, once again, you don't want it to be twice. So, obviously, if they have a bunch of face down cards and this is the last face up one, then, let them keep going. Let them keep mixing. That way, it looks more random. But this is going to be the final card. So that's a really cool way that you can actually force a card. And now once you force this card, like I said, that is sort of a standalone trick. So what you could do is you could have a written prediction somewhere. If you have a written prediction, that works extremely well. If you wanted to do that, you could do anything like that. If you wanted to do something really cool, you could play around with fire. You could do that, the friction pen sort of revelation there. If you haven't seen that, check out our recent pen trick video. That's a really good one, actually. I think we did 3 pen tricks in that video. Really, really solid ones. And there you could learn how to use fire with this friction pen here and actually reveal a prediction in a really cool way. So that could be a really cool sort of prediction. But once again, you just take a double face card, put it somewhere in the deck, start it with the face up, start mixing them around yourself, tell them to start mixing them around, and every single time at a random point, you'll just say stop. You're going to remove all the face down cards, and the final card will always be the double facer, obviously. And then you can go ahead and reveal your prediction. So that is the first little card force there. And anyway, let's get straight into the second one. So the second force here is actually going to use the same principle here. Now, what you're going to use for this one, there's no deck. You're going to be using a index card or flash card, whatever you want to say, and a cup. Okay, you can use any sort of, you can use a bowl, cup, anything like that works quite well. Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to want to use a flashcard or a piece of paper. Now, what is key for this is that both sides need to be blank or both sides have to be lined, okay? Now, you'll notice here that I do have lines on this side and this side is blank, but you're going to want, in the actual performance-wise, you're going to want both sides to be the same. I'll explain that in a little bit, all right? So what you're going to do here is you're going to start out by writing a sort of little, I guess, a little cheat here, okay? And this could be whatever you want. Now, if you're going to use this for a specific card, what you can do here, for example, let's say I wanted the 7 of hearts. I'm going to write 7H in the bottom corner here. It doesn't matter which corner, okay? I just write 7H on it. And you're not going to show them that, okay? So you're just going to keep it like this. You're going to show them, you know, okay, blank card, whatever, right? From here, you're going to go ahead and tear it up into pieces. Now, it doesn't matter how many pieces. It really doesn't, okay? You're just going to tear this up, and obviously don't tear into the wording, okay? And you're just going to tear these little pieces here, okay? Now, keep in mind which one has the 7H here, okay? That's going to be key. Now, you're going to tear these into pieces, however many pieces you want, doesn't matter. And now you're going to ask them to just name out, you know, some random cards, okay? Some random cards. Remember, I got to remember this one. Random cards, okay? And obviously you're going to say, here, let me give you guys, let me give you an example. We could have the, you know, the Ace of Diamonds, right? AD. We could have the, I don't know, 7 of Hearts, right? 7 of Hearts. And just like that, now you have this double face one. Now, this is why you want both sides to be the same and sort of blank or both line, because obviously if you're writing on the blank side and then it ends up appearing on the line side, that doesn't necessarily make sense, okay? So you'll understand what I mean by that. So then you can start asking them for some random ones. For example, like let's just go 6 of Diamonds, Queen of Clubs, 4 of Spades, 7 of Hearts, 6 of Spades, 2 of Spades, the King of Spades, King of Diamonds, okay, and so on and so forth until you end up finished. So at this point, what you're going to do is you're now going to just shake this up, and what you're doing here is essentially creating this sort of lottery system where all of these are sort of randomly getting mixed. Now, it's true, they're all getting mixed, and what you're going to do is at a random time, you could have them say stop, you could say stop, you're just going to dump it onto the table. Anything face down is going to be discarded, okay? So anything that's face down just gets taken out, okay? Obviously, we know that this is double-faced here, so it's never going to land on its back. Now, this might take a while because a lot of times they're both going to land on the same side. And here you can see we got 2 more gone, so now it's left between these 3. Now, once again, this is why you're going to want to make sure that both sides are the same so that you don't have this sort of situation where you got lines on this side and just blank on this side so it doesn't look the same. You want everything to be sort of coherent. So you're going to go ahead, keep dumping. You see, now it's left between these 2, Ace of Diamonds, 7 of Hearts. Obviously, we know which one's going to win here. We know the 7 of Hearts is going to win. You just keep mixing, eventually dump, okay? Usually the last 2 can be a little annoying. So you can see there, perfect. This one face down. We're left with the 7 of Hearts. Hey, 7 of Hearts. And then obviously you go in from there and you sort of reveal that prediction of yours. Now, once again, there is a couple ways you can do this. For example, one way that I like to go about doing, especially with this cup method, is what you do here is you do it in 2 stages. So what I usually do is I have 2 note cards, okay? 1 note card here, 1 note card here. And what I usually do is I set up one with numbers and one with suit. So one of them is only going to have suits and one of the note cards has numbers. And sort of the longer you go, honestly, the better it is because it seems more random. So usually I'll start with numbers and I'll say, okay, we'll go 1 through 13 because there's 1 through 13 with cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that same thing. I'm going to do it with the numbers first, and then I'll end up doing the same thing with the suits. I'll tell them, you know, name any suits you want. put in there. That way, because there's 52 cards, and if they're only allowed to write, you know, maybe say 12, 10, you know, usually they feel like you're sort of forcing it on them because they don't have many options. You know, you're only using really 8 to 10 out of the 52 cards that they have. So you want to keep it as random as possible, all right? But that is the 2 card forces. Hope you guys enjoyed, and this is Card Shuffler 99. Peace out.